Imagine this. The lights of the world fade, and all that's left is the quiet hum of the universe breathing. You are drifting now weightless, your thoughts slowing as if gravity itself were loosening its hold. Out there, beyond every dream and every sound, the cosmos begins to dance, not with music, but with motion. A motion so ancient that even time has forgotten when it started. Long before stars lit the sky, or planets found their paths, there was a kind of rhythm, a trembling pulse that whispered through the void. Physicists call it quantum fluctuation, tiny ripples in a sea of nothingness. But if you close your eyes, it feels more like the first gentle step of a waltz. The universe, still for a fraction of a moment, exhaled, and in that breath motion was born. We often think of creation as an explosion, a violent event that tore light out of darkness. But perhaps it was softer than that. Perhaps it was a swirl, a spiral of light turning inward and outward, at once shaping itself into being. The cosmic dance began not with chaos but with choreography. Everything, matter, energy, even time entered the floor together, partners in an endless spin. Hey guys, tonight we're going to explore that dance. The one that began before galaxies, before gravity, before anything had a name. We'll wander through the universe's slow turns and furious twirls, from the spin of atoms to the rotation of galaxies so vast they could swallow millions of suns. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And if you'd like, leave a comment below telling me where you're listening from and what time it is there. I love imagining this quiet constellation of sleepy souls around the world, all tuning in under the same drifting stars. Now, if you're ready, let's begin. The first movement of the universe was not random. It was structured, elegant, as though guided by invisible hands. Space itself began to stretch, pulling matter into motion. Within fractions of a second after the Big Bang, energy condensed into particles, and those particles began to spin. Why? Because motion is the universe's natural language. Stillness, it seems, is something the cosmos never learned. Every photon that escaped that first fireball carried momentum, a faint memory of the spin that shaped it. The galaxies we see today, their swirling arms, their spiral cores, are echoes of that first rotational impulse. Scientists sometimes say that angular momentum is conserved, meaning once something starts to spin, it keeps spinning unless something stops it. But in the universe, nothing ever truly stops. There is no friction in the void, no air to slow the stars, no ground to end their dance. The cosmos is a ballroom, with no walls, no ceiling, and no clock. Imagine floating in that infinite hall. Around you, matter coalesces into shining clouds, and the clouds begin to turn. They are not solid yet, just veils of gas and dust stirred by the gravity of their own making. Slowly, as they collapse, they flatten into disks. From those disks, stars ignite like candle flames, their birth cries soft but eternal. Each one spins a burning dancer born from the twirl of creation. If you could watch this process unfold, if your eyes could see across eons, it would look like choreography written in light. Nebulae twisting into spirals, galaxies forming from whirlpools of dust. Everywhere, motion becomes structure, and structure becomes beauty. The universe, it turns out, is not just expanding, it's twirling outward, every galaxy, a dancer moving to the same hidden rhythm. And yet within this immense performance, there is silence. No sound travels through the vacuum, no orchestra to mark the tempo. The dance plays out in pure geometry, mass momentum, and gravity tracing invisible lines through space-time. A spiral galaxy spins because its stars are bound together by gravity's pull, yet that pull also stretches, delays, bends. It's as if gravity itself is the music, and matter moves to keep time. Think of a galaxy like the Milky Way. It completes one full rotation roughly every 230 million years. That means that since the dinosaurs last walked the Earth, our solar system has made only a single revolution around its galactic center. And even now, we are still mid-step gliding through the arms of a spiral that stretches 100,000 light-years across. The stars don't rush. They drift gracefully, their paths curved by ancient momentum. Each turn, each revolution is another beat in the slowest, grandest waltz ever conceived. Some scientists once asked, why does everything spin? Why not a still universe perfectly balanced and motionless? But stillness, it seems, is not stable. The tiniest fluctuation, the smallest imbalance and motion begins again. It's as if the universe insists on movement, the way a flame insists on flickering. Even in the spaces between galaxies, the quantum fields tremble. There is no quiet without vibration, no existence without motion. Maybe that's why when you lie in bed and feel the pulse of your own heartbeat, it feels familiar. Somewhere deep down, your atoms are spinning too. The electrons orbiting your body have been turning since the dawn of time, their energy borrowed from that first cosmic motion. You are made of movement, born from a universe that never stopped dancing. Let your mind drift with that thought. Picture yourself not as separate from the stars, but as part of their rhythm. The same laws that turn galaxies guide the blood in your veins, the breath in your chest, the rotation of your world beneath your feet. Every heartbeat, every inhale, is a microcosm of cosmic motion. You are not standing still. You are spinning, drifting, orbiting, always moving through space. And maybe that's the quiet secret of existence. That there is no final rest, no absolute stillness, only transformation, only motion, rearranging itself into new forms. The dance never ends because the universe never gets tired. It only changes. Partners changes, steps changes rhythm. What was once light becomes matter. What was once a star becomes dust, and what was dust becomes you. So tonight, as you drift closer to sleep, imagine yourself part of that infinite choreography. The stars turning overhead, the galaxies pirouetting in the distance, the atoms within you spinning quietly in response. The universe is not something out there. It's something you are inside of, and something that moves inside of you. Breathe in, breathe out. You are turning with everything else. Before there was light, before there were stars or space, there was stillness. No direction, no clock, no rhythm, only a silent potential waiting to awaken. And then, in less than a heartbeat, something stirred. The universe expanded faster than thought itself, and in that motion, time began to flow. Time, you see, is not a thing that exists on its own. It's a companion to motion. Without movement, there is no before or after, only a frozen eternity. But the instant the universe began to spin, to stretch, to flow outward, it created the very possibility of then. When things started moving, time learned how to count. Imagine watching that first expansion, not a violent explosion, but a smooth unfolding. Space itself stretching like silk, the early cosmos filled with heat so intense that matter and energy were the same thing. Every particle that blinked into being carried within it the seed of time, a direction to move, a story to tell. Scientists call that moment inflation, but it feels almost like a breath, the first inhale of existence. And as the cosmos expanded, something miraculous happened. Motion slowed. The furious rush calmed into a steady rhythm. From chaos came pattern. From pattern, harmony. If you were there, if any being could have been there, you wouldn't have seen a flash of light. You would have felt the birth of flow. Energy curling into spirals. Gravity beginning to whisper the first forms of spin, tracing invisible lines through space. In that instant, the universe became aware of its own direction. It was no longer still. It was becoming. There's something soothing in that, isn't there? That the birth of time wasn't a loud beginning, but a gradual awakening, like dawn, spilling softly across a horizon that didn't yet know it was a horizon. For hundreds of thousands of years after that first expansion, the universe was a blur of plasma, a glowing fog where light could not travel freely. Yet even then, the dance continued. Tiny ripples of density moved through the hot soup of particles, creating waves that would one day become galaxies. You could say that motion gave birth to structure, and structure gave birth to meaning. Those ancient vibrations are still with us. We can hear their faint echo today in the cosmic microwave background, a whisper of the early universe that fills all of space. It's like the aftersound of the first heartbeat of creation, still humming after nearly 14 billion years. Think about that for a moment. Every tick of your watch, every sunrise and sunset, every pulse of your heart, all trace back to that first cosmic movement. Without it, there would be no yesterday, no tomorrow, not even this quiet moment of you listening now. Time, in a sense, is the shadow that motion casts. When something moves, time follows. When something slows, time stretches. The universe learned this long ago, and we are still learning it every day. Consider the way the Earth turns beneath you. One rotation every 24 hours. That's our simplest measure of time. But what if it stopped? If our planet ceased to spin, half of the world would burn under endless sunlight, the other would freeze in eternal night. Time itself would seem broken, because time is not an idea, it's a rhythm, a movement. And yet, the Earth does not stop. It keeps turning gently, endlessly, carrying us through days and nights like a lullaby. The same is true for the galaxies above us, for the planets, for the tiny particles beneath our skin. Each motion becomes a drumbeat in the cosmic song that defines time itself. There's a beautiful irony hidden there. The faster the universe expands, the slower time moves near its edges. The deeper you fall into gravity, the slower your seconds stretch. Time is not universal. It dances differently everywhere. Near a black hole, a single second can last an eternity. Between galaxies, that same second might flicker and vanish before it begins. In that sense, time is not a ruler, but a melody, rising, falling, bending to the rhythm of motion. When you look at a spiral galaxy turning slowly through the dark, what you're really seeing is time made visible. The light from its edges left millions of years ago, still crossing space to reach your eyes. You are watching ancient motion happening now. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine drifting above that galaxy. You see its arms sweeping outward, millions of suns spinning together like dancers on a cosmic floor. Every star moves in harmony, but each at its own pace, its own measure of time. And between them, the dark stretches on silent, vast, and full of potential. The universe never learned to sit still because stillness means ending, and creation by its nature resists endings. It prefers to keep turning, transforming, reimagining itself. Even as stars die, their ashes spin into new clouds, new worlds, new lives. The movement that began at the dawn of time has never truly paused. It only changes form over and over again. So as you listen now, let that thought settle like gentle gravity on your mind. You are not outside of time, you are inside it. You are made of its flow, born from the same motion that gave birth to galaxies. The air you breathe, the pulse beneath your skin, the quiet rhythm of your thoughts, all are echoes of that first universal movement. And when you sleep tonight, as your body slows and your thoughts drift, remember, you are not becoming still. You are simply joining the deeper rhythm, the slow turning of the cosmos itself. Time does not stop when you close your eyes. It keeps flowing through you quietly, faithfully, like a tide that never withdraws. Tomorrow when you wake, it will still be there, the unseen dance that began before the stars, because the universe never stopped moving, and neither did you. In the beginning, everything was light, not the soft, golden kind that filters through your window, but a wild, formless radiance that filled all directions at once. The newborn universe shimmered, like a thought still taking shape. Energy and matter were inseparable trading places so quickly that neither could decide what it wanted to be. Then gradually things began to cool. The chaos thinned. And in that quiet cooling, something new happened. Movement began to curve. The first atoms, the first specks of matter started to spin. They didn't choose to, of course. Spin is simply how existence expresses itself. Rotation was written into the universe's code from the start, like rhythm in a heartbeat. Imagine this early cosmos, not as a void, but as a sea, dense, luminous, restless. Within that sea, tiny waves collided and merged, creating little eddies. Gravity, still young and uncertain, tugged at these whirls of energy, amplifying them, tightening them, shaping them. Each swirl became a seed of structure, the first hint of what would one day become galaxies, stars, and worlds. If you could have floated there billions of years ago, you would not have seen stars yet. You would have seen ripples, gentle spirals of invisible energy coiling in the dark. Each one carried a kind of memory, a tendency toward turning. From that turning, the universe began to sculpt itself. Even now, physicists search for traces of those first cosmic twists in the faint background radiation that still hums across the sky. They call them anisotropies, tiny differences in temperature and direction, no more than 1 part in 100,000. But from those subtle imperfections, everything else emerged. Without them, the cosmos would have been perfectly smooth, a still glowing mist that never formed stars, never formed you. Imperfection, it turns out, was the first artist. As the universe expanded, those twists of matter grew. They pulled more material toward them, spinning faster, as they did the way a skater pulls in her arms and begins to whirl. The denser regions drew in gas and dust. The empty regions thinned out. Slowly the universe began to take on texture. The first galaxies, though still far in the future, had found their blueprint. There's a quiet lesson hidden in that story, that everything we see now began with the smallest imbalance, a whisper of difference, a breath of movement, and the whole cosmos started to dance. The stars owe their existence to the fact that nothing was perfectly still. As the matter condensed, the first atoms began to form hydrogen and helium, the simplest of all. They were born spinning too. Each carried angular momentum, the cosmic memory of that first swirl. That momentum could not disappear. It passed forward from one collision to another, from one generation of stars to the next, a thread of motion linking all creation. Sometimes when astronomers describe this process, it sounds mechanical rotation, curves, density, fluctuations, gravitational, collapse. But if you listen closely, it sounds like poetry, the poetry of inevitability. Motion became inheritance. Every atom in your body, every cell, still holds that ancient spin. You are in a literal sense made of the universe's first dance. Picture it for a moment. The cosmic fabric rippling like silk gravity, pulling at the folds, tiny knots forming where the fabric twists. Those knots begin to turn faster, drawing energy inward, forming luminous spirals that will one day become galaxies. Time stretches, space swells, and yet the turning never ceases. What began as a murmur becomes a melody. Millions of years pass. The spirals condense into star clusters, bright and hot, scattered like sparks across a darkening sky. And with each new birth of matter, rotation intensifies. Conservation of angular momentum, that's what physicists call it. But it could just as easily be called persistence or memory. Once motion begins, it never truly dies. Close your eyes. Imagine drifting through that young universe. Clouds of hydrogen drift past you like smoke from unseen fires. Every cloud, every wisp of dust, carries a slow, patient spin. When they collide, they merge into larger clouds that rotate faster, pulled by their own gravity. It's hypnotic, this endless cycle of turning, collapsing, and turning again. Eventually, gravity wins the argument with chaos. The whirls of gas collapse inward until at their centers heat and pressure ignite fusion. The first stars flare to life, and the universe brightens for the first time. It is light, born from motion fire, born from spin. The atoms that once drifted lazily now burn as suns. And still the dance continues. Around each newborn star, the leftover dust begins to flatten into a disk. The disk spins faster, like a potter's wheel forming worlds from cosmic clay. Planets coalesce, moons take shape, and each inherits its own rhythm. The original twist of matter echoes in every orbit, every day, every second. It's humbling to realize that our world, this Earth turning beneath you, is just one note in that endless choreography. Our planet spins once every 24 hours or so, we say. But to the universe, that's barely a flicker. The Milky Way itself spins too, one full rotation, every 230 million years, carrying us with it in its spiral arms. Even the atoms that compose you are still turning, not metaphorically but literally, their electrons, tracing endless paths around their nuclei. When you lie in bed and feel the Earth's gravity holding you close, remember you are moving. You are spinning with the planet, orbiting the sun, drifting with the galaxy, turning with the universe itself. There is no stillness anywhere, not even in your sleep. That first twist of matter, that ancient whisper of motion, is still here. It hums beneath your heartbeat, flickers in your breath, trembles in the smallest particles of your being. The same force that once sculpted galaxies now animates you. And perhaps that's why stillness feels like peace to us, because we recognize deep down that real stillness doesn't exist. When we rest, when we drift into dreams, we are simply matching our rhythm to the universe's not stopping but swaying gently with its eternal motion. Everything turns, everything continues, and in the turning creation never ends. Out in the newborn universe, long before our sun was even a thought, the first galaxies began to take shape. Vast, swirling cities of light, born from gravity's patient hands. Imagine space, not as empty, but alive, with motion filled with rivers of dust and gas, slowly weaving themselves into spirals. It is a motion so immense, so slow, that from our small human scale, it looks eternal. Yet everything about it began with one simple act, the universe turning inward upon itself. Gravity was the choreographer. Wherever matter gathered, it pulled more matter toward it. The pull uneven, the rhythm irregular. And because nothing in nature is perfectly symmetrical, that pull began to twist. The clouds of hydrogen and helium did not fall straight in. They curved, swirled, folded around themselves. The more they collapsed, the faster they spun, the same way an ice skater spins faster when she pulls her arms close. Each tightening loop was a note in the growing song of creation. For hundreds of millions of years, these colossal clouds of gas spiraled and merged, colliding in cosmic slow motion. Some became elongated, some flattened into disks. The densest regions ignited into the first generations of stars, massive blue and brief-lived. They blazed across the darkness, their light scattering through the forming galaxies like sparks in a wind. And around them, the quieter stars began to appear, smaller, gentler suns that would endure for billions of years. If you could stand at the edge of one of these ancient galaxies and look in, it would be like staring into a whirlpool of fire and dust. The arms would curl outward, like glowing ribbons sweeping slowly around a bright center. But at the core, the dance was furious. Stars packed so tightly that their orbits blurred together into pure radiance. In time, at the very heart of those glowing centers, something darker formed the first black holes, spinning faster than anything else, anchoring the dance forever. Every galaxy carries its own rhythm. Some are calm, elegant spirals, graceful and symmetrical, like dancers moving in perfect time. Others are chaotic, their arms torn by collisions, their shapes twisted by the gravitational embrace of neighbors. The universe is full of such meetings. When galaxies pass close to one another, their mutual gravity draws them into vast, slow-motion waltzes that last billions of years. Their stars rarely collide, but their shapes stretch and bend, creating bridges of light between them, a choreography so vast that it reshapes the heavens themselves. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, was born this way. It grew through countless mergers, swallowing smaller galaxies, folding their stars into its luminous arms. Even today, it is still dancing, still absorbing the light of others, still spinning with quiet determination. From the outside, it would look serene, a glowing spiral turning gently through the void. But within it is full of motion stars, orbiting clouds, colliding energy and matter circling endlessly like breath within lungs. Astronomers estimate that the Milky Way spins at over 5,000,000 miles per hour around its center. And yet from our small corner, we feel none of it. The Earth turns the solar system, moves, the galaxy swirls, but all of it happens so smoothly, so evenly, that we experience it as calm. It is like floating on a ship through the quietest sea, unaware of the ocean's depth and power beneath you. If you could listen to this galactic movement, if sound could travel through the vacuum of space, you would hear a deep, continuous hum, the low note of eternity vibrating through time. Each orbit of a star, each pulse of a supernova, each slow rotation of a nebula would add a tone to the cosmic harmony. Galaxies, after all, are not just clusters of stars. They are symphonies of motion. And perhaps that's why spiral galaxies are so beautiful to us. Their form echoes something we already know: the swirl of seashells, the pattern of hurricanes, the twist of DNA, the whirls of our fingerprints. The universe repeats its favorite shape again and again, from the microscopic to the infinite. The spiral is the shape of growth of motion, unfolding from stillness of time itself, learning to turn gracefully. Even the spaces between galaxies are not silent. Invisible filaments of dark matter thread through the cosmos, linking galaxy to galaxy like unseen dancers holding hands. These vast structures form what scientists call the cosmic web, an endless network of luminous nodes and empty voids. Each intersection glows with galaxies. Each thread vibrates faintly with the memory of creation's first motion. From a distance, it looks like the universe itself is spinning a grand spiral of spirals, a waltz of worlds. Within those spirals, new stars are born constantly. In the arms of galaxies, like our own clouds of dust, collapse into new suns, lighting up regions called stellar nurseries. Some of the light that reaches your eyes tonight left those places millions of years ago, crossing the dark in silence, just to arrive here. When you look at the night sky, you're seeing the choreography of galaxies in slow motion, a dance whose every step takes eons to complete. And here's the quiet truth: those galaxies aren't just out there, they are within you. Every atom in your body, the carbon in your breath, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, was forged in the heart of a spinning star that once belonged to one of those galaxies. When those stars died, they scattered their elements into space, and from that stardust, our world was born. The rotation that once stirred their fiery cores still moves through you now. The spiral is more than a pattern, it's a memory. Every heartbeat, every breath follows its curve, expansion and contraction, outward and inward motion and rest. You are a galaxy in miniature, carrying within you the same balance of chaos and order that governs the stars. So as you lie in the dark tonight, imagine yourself suspended among those distant spirals. Feel their turning mirrored in the slow rhythm of your breath. The same forces that guide them, gravity, momentum, time, are holding you too. You are not separate from the dance. You are one of its steps. The galaxies will keep spinning long after we are gone. Their stars will rise and fall, their arms will stretch and fade. Their light will travel until it finds another dreamer's eyes. And even then, the dance will not end. For motion, once born, does not die. It only changes form, from dust to fire, from star to silence, from silence to life again. And somewhere in that vast, quiet motion, our small spiral, the Milky Way, continues to turn softly, endlessly, like a lullaby written in light. Everywhere you look in the night sky, each point of light you see is moving, turning, breathing in its own way. Stars are not still candles hanging in the dark. They are living spheres of motion, each one rotating with a rhythm older than memory. Some spin lazily, taking months to complete a single turn. Others whirl so quickly that they flatten at their poles, their surfaces stretched by their own speed. The universe, in its quiet poetry, made them this way, hearts of fire that beat through rotation. When a star is born, it inherits the momentum of the gas cloud that created it. The cloud itself spun, as it collapsed under gravity, and as it shrank, it began to rotate faster, just like the galaxies that cradle it. This conservation of angular momentum ensures that no star is ever completely still. Even as it ignites, its body begins to twist. Its light may seem serene, but deep within storms, rage and currents swirl massive tides of plasma carried around by rotation. Our own sun turns once every 27 days at its equator, a slow and steady rhythm compared to the dizzying spin of others. Some young stars complete a full rotation in less than a single day, their surfaces whirling faster than sound. The pressure of such motion shapes them, bending their bodies outward, spreading their heat unevenly. The faster a star spins, the more it becomes like a living engine, its core compressed, its edges flung wide by centrifugal grace. The spin of a star is not just a mechanical act. It governs everything about its life: how it burns, how it ages, how it dies. A fast spinning star stirs its interior more efficiently, mixing fuel from the outer layers into its core. This keeps its light burning bright and blue, though for a shorter time. A slow spinner like the sun burns more evenly, gentle, patient, capable of nurturing planets like ours for billions of years. The pace of rotation, in other words, is the tempo of existence. If you could drift close to a star, you would see rotation everywhere, in its magnetic fields, in its flares, in the rivers of glowing gas that rise and fall across its surface. Every solar flare is a note in its rhythm, every storm a heartbeat. The light that reaches us is not constant. It flickers slightly with the turn of the star, the way a lighthouse beam sweeps the sea. We call that flicker pulsation, but perhaps it's better to think of it as breathing. Sometimes when stars age, their spins slow. They expand, cool, and stretch into giants, their once steady turns now slowed to a cosmic sigh. Others die violently, collapsing inward so rapidly that their rotation skyrockets. In those final moments, a star can spin hundreds of times each second, compressing the mass of several suns into an object barely the size of a city. These are neutron stars, dense glowing remnants whose magnetic fields sweep through space like invisible lighthouses. Each pulse of light that reaches us is a rotation, a spinning echo of a star's final heartbeat. And then there are the extremes, pulsars. These are neutron stars that spin with clockwork precision, their beams flashing across the cosmos like metronomes. Some rotate more than 700 times per second. Imagine that something heavier than the sun, turning faster than a kitchen blender, held together only by gravity and the laws of physics. It's almost impossible to believe such motion can exist, and yet the night sky is filled with it. The universe doesn't fear extremes. It composes with them. Even black holes, the final silence of dead stars, are defined by spin. When a massive star collapses under its own gravity, the momentum it once carried doesn't vanish, it condenses. A black hole can spin near the speed of light, its rotation dragging the very fabric of space-time around with it. Scientists call this frame dragging, but perhaps it's better understood as a dance so powerful that even reality itself must sway to the rhythm. Our galaxy is full of spinning hearts like these. The youngest stars whirl with restless energy, while the oldest drift in serene slowness. Some rotate in clusters, some in pairs locked in eternal embrace. Binary stars circle each other so closely that they share outer layers, swapping material in a gravitational waltz that lasts millions of years. From afar, they look like a single star pulsing, But in truth, they are two dancers moving so gracefully that they appear as one. You are connected to this cosmic choreography in more ways than you might think. The light that warms your face each morning was born in the sun's turning furnace. The energy that powers your heartbeat began as hydrogen swirling through the galaxy, caught in the rotation of the solar nebula that formed our world. Every breath you take is laced with atoms forged in the spinning cores of ancient stars. You are in a very real way the residue of motion stardust that still carries a faint trace of the rhythm that made it. Sometimes late at night, when the world feels still and silent, it's easy to forget how much movement surrounds us. But even in that stillness, the stars are turning, the planets are orbiting, the galaxy itself is rotating like a great cosmic clock. Nothing truly rests. The peace you feel in those moments doesn't come from the absence of motion, it comes from harmony with it. Close your eyes and picture the sun rising tomorrow, the sky soft with color. That light has traveled across 150 million kilometers, a direct gift from a spinning heart that never stops. The warmth you feel is not just heat, it's motion transformed into life. And just as the sun spins, so too does every atom in your body, every molecule, every living cell. The same rules that guide the stars whisper through your veins. To exist is to move. To shine is to spin. To live is to follow the rhythm the universe began long before we arrived. Stars turn because the cosmos never learned to be still, and we small brief sparks within its light carry that motion forward, heartbeat by heartbeat, rotation by rotation, into the quiet eternity of tomorrow. So as you listen, let that thought cradle you. Every point of light above is alive with motion. Every flicker you see is a dancer in the endless night. And somewhere among them our sun spins steadily on its fire, calm its pulse, eternal keeping, time for a universe that never stops. Every world you can imagine, every marble of stone, every sphere of gas, every frozen moon in the dark is turning. It doesn't matter if it shines, breathes, or lies silent and airless. All of them spin. They spin because that is what matter does when it is left alone. It turns to stay alive. The birth of a planet begins in the cradle of a young star. Around that newborn sun, a disk of dust and gas swirls in slow rotation, glittering faintly in the starlight, like powdered gold suspended in air. Gravity gathers the dust into clumps, and the clumps grow into mountains, and the mountains collide to form worlds. Every collision, every orbit, every flicker of movement in that disk leaves a trace of angular momentum, the same invisible currency that fuels galaxies and stars. By the time a planet forms, it carries within it the spin of everything that came before, and yet no two planets move alike. Mercury rolls around the Sun in 59-day turns, while Jupiter spins so fast it completes a day in under 10 hours. Venus strangely turns backward its rotation opposite that of most other worlds. Uranus lies on its side, rolling like a cosmic marble knocked off course. There's no symmetry, no single pattern, only balance. The universe allows infinite variations, so long as motion is preserved. If you could drift above the solar system and watch it from afar, it would look like an elegant clockwork made of light. Each planet turning in its own rhythm, each orbit tracing a glowing ellipse around the Sunday. But the closer you look, the more you realize the harmony isn't perfect. It's dynamic. Gravity tugs at every orbit. Small interactions accumulate and balance is continually rewritten. The solar system doesn't keep time. It breathes. Earth, for instance, spins once every 24 hours, but that rhythm is slowing. Tides raised by the moon are gradually stealing energy from our planet's rotation, pushing the moon away a little farther each year. It's a delicate exchange, a dance of give and take that has lasted for billions of years. In the age of the dinosaurs, a day on Earth was only 23 hours long. Long before that, it may have lasted just 6. The slowing continues, even now invisible but unstoppable like a whisper spreading through stone. The balance between planet and moon is one of the most tender relationships in the cosmos. It keeps our days stable, our seasons predictable, our oceans breathing in and out with the tides. Without the moon's soft pull, Earth might wobble wildly on its axis. Summers would scorch, winters would freeze, and life might never have found its steady pulse. The spin of a planet isn't just a motion, it's a memory of survival. Other worlds keep their secrets too. Jupiter spins like a storm given form, its equator racing faster than its poles, its surface boiling with cyclones that could swallow Earth whole. Saturn's spin flattens it into a perfect disk, so wide that its rings seem almost motionless, though they rush around it at thousands of kilometers per hour. Mars turns much like we do, slowly and steadily, its red deserts glowing in a rhythm that once mirrored ancient rivers. Neptune's rotation drives supersonic winds, the fastest in the solar system, invisible ribbons, racing through endless cold. Each of these planets carries a delicate balance between gravity and motion. Spin too fast, and a world tears itself apart. Spin too slow, and it becomes unstable, wobbling in unpredictable patterns. But just the right rotation creates harmony, weather, atmosphere, magnetism. The magnetic field that shields Earth from cosmic radiation is born from its spin, molten iron swirling deep within a liquid heart turning beneath our feet. Without that inner rotation, the sky itself would be stripped away. It's easy to forget that balance comes from movement. We think of stability as stillness, a calm lake, an unmoving rock. But in truth, the universe teaches the opposite. Stability arises from dynamic tension, from motion, perfectly maintained. A spinning top stands upright, not because it rests, but because it turns. The same is true for planets, for atoms, even for the heart beating quietly in your chest. When astronauts look back at Earth from space, they don't see it as static. They see a sphere alive with swirling clouds and shifting blues, a world in constant motion, rolling silently through blackness. It turns once each day toward the sun, then away, balancing light and dark, wakefulness and rest. Every sunrise is a reminder that rotation never stops. It only changes direction, angle, and speed. If you stood on Mercury, a single sunrise would last weeks. If you stood on Jupiter, the day would race by in a blur. But wherever you go, there is turning. There is the balance between gravity's pull and inertia's push, between falling inward and flying away. That balance defines the dance of the cosmos. It is why planets hold together, why moons circle faithfully, why we wake to morning and sleep through night. And here in the middle of it all, we find ourselves tiny observers, clinging to a turning rock that spins fast enough to flatten at its poles and slow enough to carry oceans on its back. We call it stability, but really it's a perfect balancing act that has lasted for 4.5 billion years. The next time you feel still, remember that you are moving at over 1600 kilometers per hour just by standing where you are. You are whirling with the Earth's crust, orbiting the sun, circling the galaxy. Every breath you take is part of that cosmic equilibrium gravity, holding you down momentum, carrying you forward. It is the oldest balance of all, the one that began when dust and gas learned to dance. There is no silence in this dance, only harmony. Each planet hums a different note, each orbit adds a measure to the song, and somewhere in that vast music, Earth's gentle spin keeps time steady, patient, eternal. So when you close your eyes tonight, imagine the solar system spinning around you. Picture every world, turning every moon, gliding every ring, shimmering in slow motion. The universe has never known stillness, only grace. And grace, like balance, is found not in the absence of motion, but in its perfection. Even when you stand perfectly still, the ground beneath your feet is moving. It turns quietly, carrying you through space on a vast, invisible wheel. The Earth spins once every 24 hours, but the motion is so smooth, so ancient, that you never feel it. You wake, eat, dream, and sleep, all while the world rolls steadily beneath the stars. Imagine the planet as a soft blue lantern turning through darkness. From orbit, it glows with the colors of air and ocean-white veils of cloud swirling over the curved horizon. Every sunrise you've ever seen, every moonrise, every tide and season, each is a side effect of that single patient spin. The Earth's rotation is the clock that writes the rhythm of your life. Long ago, the planet turned faster. A day lasted only a few hours, the moon hovered closer, and the tides were wild and high. Over billions of years, friction and gravity slowed the pace, stretching the days like a breath drawn deeper and calmer. Even now that slowing continues so faintly, we notice it only through the oldest fossils, where growth rings mark shorter days frozen in stone. The Earth is teaching itself to move in grace. You might think of this spin as mechanical, but it is almost tender. It governs everything we call ordinary: the wind brushing the grass, the cycle of light that tells birds when to migrate, the alternating warmth and rest that shaped the evolution of sleep. Every living thing, from the smallest cell to the largest whale, has learned to follow this cosmic rhythm. Even your heartbeat and your breathing fall unconsciously into step with the turning of your planet. If you could see the Earth's motion without the blur of daily life, you'd realize how fast and precise it really is. At the equator, the ground moves at more than 1,600 kilometers per hour, sweeping eastward under the Sunday. The air follows, dragged along by friction, and together they form the patterns we call weather. Hurricanes curve, rivers carve, and clouds spiral because the Earth spins. What seems like chaos in the sky is simply rotation made visible. Stand in a quiet field and look at the horizon. It feels flat and solid, but you are moving through space faster than a bullet. The stars above you trace slow arcs across the sky, not because they move, but because you do. The rising of Orion, the setting of Venus, the slow procession of constellations through the seasons, these are the shadows cast by Earth's graceful dance. Every night sky is a mirror showing you your own motion. The spin also holds the planet steady. Like a gyroscope, it keeps Earth's axis tilted at just the right angle, 23.5 degrees. That tilt gives us the seasons. Without it, there would be no summer or winter, no migration of warmth and cold, no pulse of renewal each year. The balance of life depends on that subtle lean, maintained by the rotation's steady hum. It's as if the world found its favorite posture and decided never to let go. Beneath your feet, the spin never falters. The continents drift slowly across its surface, the oceans rise and fall, but the rotation endures. Even the molten core turns a churning sphere of iron, generating the magnetic field that shields the planet from cosmic radiation. The compass you hold in your hand points north, not because the universe arranged it so, but because deep within, Earth motion never rests. The planet protects itself by spinning. It's easy to forget that this turning links us to the stars. Every 23 hours and 56 minutes, the planet completes one full spin relative to the distant constellations. Astronomers call this a sidereal day. It means that each night, the stars rise a little earlier, sliding westward by 4 minutes, drawing you slowly through the year. The rotation of Earth writes time into the heavens, marking not only days, but memory itself. Sometimes, when astronauts orbit above, they describe seeing 16 sunrises in a single day. The Earth turns beneath them like a living clock, face blue, and white hands sweeping under golden light. From that height, the motion is unmistakable, constant, smooth, inevitable. Down here on the surface, we feel only the calm, not the movement, and that calm is its own kind of miracle. The ancient peoples who first watched the heavens noticed this rhythm long before they understood it. They built monuments to track the sun's path, to honor the cycle that governed crops, tides, and sleep. Stone circles, pyramids, and temples still align with solstices and equinoxes, eternal reminders that our ancestors lived in conversation with the planet's spin. They knew the world was not still. They felt its pulse in the shifting light. Every culture, in its own way, built stories around this motion. Some said a giant pushed the sky in circles. Others imagined the Earth carried on the back of a turtle walking endlessly through time. We now describe it with physics, angular momentum, inertia, rotation, but the wonder remains the same. What matters is not how we explain the movement, but that we belong to it. Tonight, as you listen, try to feel that belonging. Let your breath slow to match the turning of the Earth. As you exhale, imagine the planet beneath you, rolling gently eastward. Somewhere dawn is already climbing the horizon. Somewhere else the stars are deepening into night. Billions of lives are carried in that single unbroken motion. You are part of it, one heartbeat among countless others, keeping time with a world that never stops. And when you sleep, you do not stop moving. The Earth carries you through its shadow and back into light again and again, a cradle that never pauses. You may close your eyes and surrender to stillness, but the ground, the air, the stars, all continue to turn. Every dream is a small journey made upon a spinning home. The Earth's gentle turn is not background. It is the foundation of everything you know. Every second of your life happens upon that rotation. Every story unfolds within its endless revolution. You have never been still, not once. From birth to breath to rest, you have been gliding peacefully, perfectly through the universe's great dance. Every night when you look at the moon, it seems to hang still, a pale companion suspended in darkness, watching silently over the world. But the truth is that it is not still at all. It is moving, turning, circling, forever caught in the slow rhythm of Earth's rotation. And in that motion, a strange and beautiful balance has been found, a love so old that neither partner can escape it. Billions of years ago, long before life began, the moon was much closer. It circled a young, restless Earth at incredible speed. The days were short, the tides ferocious, the oceans rising and falling hundreds of meters high. The gravitational pull between the two worlds stretched and twisted them both. The Earth's spin tugged at the moon, while the moon's gravity tugged back, pulling at the oceans, pulling at the crust, pulling at time itself. Over the ages, this dance slowed and softened. The tides became gentler, the days longer. The moon drifted away not far, just a few centimeters every year, but enough to loosen the tension. What remained was a perfect equilibrium. The Earth turns beneath the moon, and the moon turns just fast enough to always show us one face. That single pale disk you see with its seas and craters and shadows is the only side we will ever know. We call this tidal locking, but that name sounds too mechanical for what it really is. It is more like a gaze that never breaks. The moon has turned exactly once for every orbit around the Earth for billions of years. The same face has looked down on every creature that ever lived, from the first single-celled forms stirring in ancient seas to the people now looking up in wonder. The moon has seen it all, and it has never looked away. If you could stand on the far side, the hidden half, the one that never faces us, you'd see an entirely different world. Rugged mountains rise higher there, and the craters lie thick and deep, untouched by human eyes until modern times. And yet, even that secret face is not truly separate. It, too, is bound by gravity's tender leash. The moon does not orbit us so much as both worlds orbit a shared point, a center of gravity floating in space between them. This connection is not just poetic, it is practical. The moon's presence steadies the Earth's tilt, keeping our seasons stable and our climate gentle. Without it, our axis would wobble wildly, throwing the planet into chaos. Ice ages, 1 century, burning deserts the next. The tides it creates nurture the coasts, stir the oceans, and may even have guided the origins of life itself. The moon is not just our reflection in the night sky. It is the quiet architect of life on Earth. Think about what that means, that every tide that pulls at the shore, every wave that breaks beneath moonlight, is part of this slow, graceful exchange of energy between two worlds. The oceans breathe because of it. The air moves differently because of it. Even the spin of the planet slows a little with each tide, trading its energy for that steady lunar distance. The moon is in a way carrying away the seconds of our days, turning them into its orbit, stretching our time into eternity. And yet we love it for that. Human beings have always looked at the moon and seen something of themselves: longing, stillness, reflection. In its phases, we find our own moods. In its cycle, our own rhythms. Ancient calendars followed its turning. Farmers sowed crops by its glow. Poets filled their pages with its light. It has never stopped moving. And yet from where we stand, it feels like the symbol of calm, the very picture of peace. But if you could hear it, if the silence of space could be turned into sound, you would know that its motion hums like a soft heartbeat. The moon's orbit stretches and contracts slightly as it moves, wobbling gently in what scientists call libration. It nods to us almost imperceptibly, showing a little more of its edge as though it's breathing along with us. Even the moon, so still to our eyes, is part of the universe's unending rhythm. When astronauts first saw it up close, they described the surface as haunting, grey, silent, and ancient beyond comprehension. Yet they also said it felt alive in its own quiet way. Its motion, its pull, its subtle glow gave them the feeling that they were not standing on a dead rock, but in the arms of something vast and timeless. The Earth hung above them in the black sky blue, spinning delicate, and they realized that the two worlds had always belonged to one another. From the surface of the moon, Earth shines 50 times brighter than the moon does from here. It never sets, it never moves. It hovers over the same spot in the lunar sky, rotating gently in place, its clouds shifting its oceans, shimmering with reflected sunlight. To any being that could stand there long enough, our planet would seem like a blue jewel, caught in endless motion, turning slowly, gracefully forever, facing the same invisible partner in the dark. Perhaps that's why the moon stirs such tenderness in us. It mirrors something we long for: connection, without chaos, motion, without loss. In its slow circling, we see our own desire for constancy in a universe that never stops changing. It is the perfect contradiction, an object born of violent collision now devoted to quiet balance. Every night as you drift towards sleep, the moon is there, keeping time with your heartbeat. You may not notice its pull, but it's in the waves of your blood, in the tides of your breath. You are part of its rhythm, bound by the same gravitational poetry that ties Earth to its silver twin. And when you dream beneath its light, you are joining an ancient communion, one that began long before language, long before history. The moon turns, the Earth turns, and together they glide through the cosmos, never touching, never letting go. It is a dance of devotion, written into the laws of physics, but also into the quiet of your soul. So tonight, when you see its light spilling across the clouds, remember this: the moon is not watching you from afar. It is moving with you, always has been. Every rise and set, every night and dawn, is the echo of that endless embrace, two worlds turning as one, cradled by gravity, serenaded by time. From the moment it was born, the sun has been turning. It rotates not like a solid sphere, but like a living ocean of fire, its surface flowing and folding in waves of plasma. You can't see the motion with your eyes, but every beam of light that touches your skin carries a trace of that rotation, that endless pulse of energy that began nearly 5 billion years ago and still continues steady as breath. The sun is a star among hundreds of billions, yet to us it is everything: warmth, light, gravity, time itself. We often think of it as a fixed point in the sky, but nothing about it is still. Beneath the blinding glare, currents of gas flow from pole to equator, twisting magnetic fields into loops that rise and snap like invisible whips. Sunspots bloom and fade in cycles that last 11 years. Solar flares erupt like exhalations of rage, then vanish back into quiet. Every pulse, every flicker is part of its spin. If you could watch it from afar, shielded from its fury, you'd see that the equator moves faster than the poles. The middle completes a rotation in about 25 Earth days, while the poles take more than 35. This uneven motion is called differential rotation, and it's what gives the sun its magnetic life. The twisting of these fields beneath the surface stores energy-building tension until it bursts outward in storms that reach across the solar system. Those storms touch us more deeply than we realize. They travel across space as solar wind streams of charged particles that collide with Earth's magnetic field, painting the sky in auroras. When you see green and violet light dancing over the poles, you are seeing the sun's heartbeat transmitted across 93 million miles. The rhythm of our star reaches us in silence, but it sings in color. Scientists study the sun with instruments that can sense the ripples on its surface, vibrations caused by sound waves echoing through its fiery body. It hums constantly, not in any human frequency, but in deep resonant waves that roll through its plasma-like tides through an ocean. These oscillations allow us to see inside, to measure its inner rotation, to understand that even the sun's core turns. It is not a still furnace, but a spinning engine of creation. And inside that spinning heart, hydrogen fuses into helium, releasing the energy that sustains all life on Earth. The photons created there take thousands of years to rise to the surface, bouncing through dense plasma until they finally escape as light. The sunlight that warms your skin today may have begun its journey before humanity even existed. By the time it reaches you, it carries not only warmth, but history. The sun's spin is more than movement, it's memory. It preserves the angular momentum of the cloud that birthed it, a cosmic inheritance passed down from the swirling nebula that once filled this corner of space. That same spin governs the orbits of the planets, the tilt of their axes, even the faint hum of electromagnetic energy that pervades the solar system. Every turn of the sun shapes the destiny of the worlds that circle it. You can think of the solar system as a family bound by rhythm. The sun spins, the planets orbit in response. The faster the sun turns, the stronger its magnetic breath, and the more fiercely it shapes its children's skies. Even our technology feels its influence. Radio waves shimmer, satellites falter, power grids surge when solar storms pass by. The sun is not just our light, it is our clock and our weather, our invisible heartbeat. Yet for all its power, its spin is slowing. Gradually, imperceptibly, over billions of years, the sun's magnetic winds carry away its momentum. Its pulse will weaken, its brightness will change. One day, far into the future, it will swell into a red giant, expanding outward until its rotation nearly stops. But even then, that ancient spin will not be gone. It will live on in the motion of the dust it sheds in the fragments that will drift outward to seed new stars. There is something profoundly peaceful about that inevitability. The idea that even a star must surrender to time, that motion eventually gives way to transformation. Yet until that distant day, the sun will keep turning its surface, shifting and glowing, its energy radiating across the void like a promise that life can endure. If you wake early enough to watch dawn, you can feel that motion in your own body. The earth rotates toward the light, and for a brief moment it feels as if the sun itself is moving to meet you. But in truth, both are dancing, the planet turning eastward, the star spinning westward, two halves of a single ancient rhythm. The warmth on your skin is not just heat, it is contact. It is the touch of a star in motion, the steady breath of creation brushing against your face. Think about it. Every tree, every ocean current, every human life exists because that star turns. Its rotation stirs its magnetic fields, which shape the solar wind, which shields us from cosmic radiation, which allows the fragile atmosphere to remain. The balance of your heartbeat depends in the smallest way on the rhythm of a star. At night, when the sun slips below the horizon, it doesn't rest. It continues to spin unseen painting light on the far side of the world. The day does not end. It only passes from one place to another, carried on the sun's turning. That is why sunrise feels like forgiveness and sunset like rest. They are reminders that motion never ceases, only shifts from light to dark, from seen to unseen. So tonight, as you drift toward sleep, remember that the same light that will wake you tomorrow is already on its way. The sun's spinning heart beats on, and with every turn it keeps the story of life moving forward. You are part of that motion, warmed by its pulse, carried in its orbit, lit by its breath. The sun does not rise for you, and it does not set. It simply turns, as it always has, and in that eternal movement, it gives meaning to time. There are places in the universe where motion becomes absolute, where spin grows so intense that space and time themselves begin to twist. These are black holes, the final dancers in the cosmic waltz born from stars that collapsed under their own gravity until nothing could resist the fall. They are not holes, not really, but whirlpools of existence regions where the universe folds inward, where every law of physics is stretched until it almost breaks, and at their hearts lies rotation, the most furious, unstoppable rotation known to nature. When a massive star reaches the end of its life, it burns through its fuel and can no longer resist its own weight. The outer layers explode outward as a supernova, but the core collapses inward, shrinking, tightening, spinning faster with every instant. All the angular momentum that once belonged to a sun millions of kilometers wide is compressed into an object smaller than a city. The result is a black hole, an entity so dense, so perfectly curved, that not even light can escape. Yet inside that darkness, motion remains. In fact, it becomes everything. Physicists call these cosmic whirlwinds Kerr black holes, named after the scientist who first described their rotating nature. They don't just sit at the center of the void. They spin at nearly the speed of light. Their rotation drags the very fabric of space-time around them, a phenomenon called frame dragging. If you could somehow stand near one safely, impossibly, you would feel reality itself twisting every atom, compelled to dance in circles around the dark. To orbit such an object is to enter a world without straight lines. Space itself flows like water toward the center, and time slows to a crawl. The closer you get, the more extreme the motion becomes. At the event horizon, the boundary between light and silence, nothing can resist the pull. Everything is drawn into a single, endless spin, turning forever around a point that no longer exists. And yet, for all their violence, black holes are not destroyers. They are recyclers of the universe. The matter they swallow doesn't simply vanish. It becomes energy, heat, light. Around each black hole, immense disks of gas form, swirling faster than any other motion in the cosmos. These accretion disks glow with a brilliance that can outshine entire galaxies. The faster the black hole spins, the hotter and brighter the disk becomes. From darkness, light is born. In that sense, a black hole is a paradox, the quietest object in the universe, and yet one of the most luminous. The spin that could crush atoms also creates beauty. Some of the most breathtaking phenomena, we can see the jets of energy that shoot from distant quasars. The blazing X-rays of binary systems are powered by this rotation. The same spin that devours also gives. Our own galaxy has one. At its center, 26000 light-years away, lies Sagittarius. A asterisk, a supermassive black hole, 4 million times the mass of our Sunday. It too spins, though slowly compared to its smaller cousins. Its gravity keeps the Milky Way stars in motion, shaping the spiral arms that cradle our solar system. We orbit not chaos, but order, a vast turning heart of darkness that holds the galaxy together. Scientists have even captured its shadow. In 2019, the Event Horizon Telescope revealed the first image of a black hole. a glowing ring surrounding a dark center light curved by gravity into a perfect halo. What we saw was not the black hole itself, but its motion, the orbiting gas spinning near light speed, painting a portrait of gravity's deepest music. If you could hear that music, it would not be loud. It would be a hum, a deep, resonant vibration, like the sound of space breathing. Black holes ring when they collide, sending gravitational waves rippling through the cosmos. Detectors on Earth, delicate beyond belief, can hear those waves' tiny tremors in space-time caused by two invisible dancers merging into one. What they record is rhythm, the final heartbeat of stars, turned to pure motion. Even light cannot resist the spin. As photons pass near a rotating black hole, they are dragged along their paths, bent and stretched. To an outside observer, this creates strange illusions, images warped into rings, shadows multiplied and reversed. Time itself becomes elastic. A second near the event horizon can last a lifetime for someone far away. In the black hole's frame, everything is turning forever. In ours, it seems frozen. There's a lesson hidden in that distortion. Spin is not just motion, it's the structure of the universe's memory. Even where everything collapses, the record of rotation remains. A black hole's spin carries the story of the star that birthed it, the gas it consumed, the galaxies it shaped. It is the ultimate archive of movement, silent, eternal, and incomprehensibly fast. To think of something turning so quickly that time itself bends is to glimpse the edge of reality. But it's also to understand a kind of peace. Within that impossible velocity, the universe finds balance. The faster a black hole spins, the more stable its shape becomes, the smoother its horizon. Chaos refines itself into grace. And though black holes seem distant, their rhythm echoes through everything. The gravity that holds your feet to the Earth, the orbit of the Moon, the turn of the planets, all of it traces back to the same principle. Once motion exists, it never dies. Even when a star collapses, the spin endures. So when you gaze into the night sky, into that endless dark sprinkled with light, remember that hidden among those stars are hearts that spin faster than thought. You may not see them, but they are there, guardians of gravity, silent dancers of time, keeping the universe in motion. And one day, far into the future, even the black holes will slow. They will release the last of their energy and fade into the quiet they were born from. But until then, they will keep turning endlessly, faithfully, the final waltz of creation. The universe, remembering how to move. Beneath everything you can touch, beneath the skin of your hand, the air you breathe, even the dust drifting in sunlight, there is motion. Not the slow, familiar movement of wind or waves, but something older and smaller, the eternal spinning of the subatomic world. Every atom, every particle dances in silence, its rhythm so fast and so delicate that no human eye could ever see it. Yet it is this invisible turning that builds reality itself. Imagine shrinking down smaller than a grain of sand, smaller than the cells that make up your blood, smaller still, until the world dissolves into pure shimmer. What you'd find there is not emptiness, but a kind of music. Electrons whirl around atomic nuclei, not as tiny planets in predictable paths, but as clouds of probability, rippling patterns of motion that exist everywhere and nowhere at once. These invisible orbits form the texture of everything that exists. Each electron has a quality we call spin. It's not spin in the way a ball rolls. It's more like a built-in twist, in the very nature of the particle, a kind of internal motion that gives rise to magnetism and structure. It is quantized, meaning it can only exist in discrete values, never between them. This simple fact defines the shape of the periodic table, the behavior of every element, the color of the light each atom emits. Without spin, there would be no chemistry, no matter, no life. The nucleus at the center of the atom spins too, though more slowly, carrying its own magnetic field. When we place atoms in a magnetic field, those tiny spins align or oppose it, creating the basis of technologies like magnetic resonance imaging machines that can peer inside the body by listening to the whispers of atomic rotation. Each image of a heartbeat, each scan of a living brain, is really a map of microscopic spins translated into form. Quantum physics tells us that these rotations are not deterministic, they are governed by probability. An electron's spin can be up or down, but until it's measured, it exists in a superposition of both. It's as if the universe keeps its options open until attention falls upon it. And when it does, when the act of observation fixes the spin in one state, something profound happens. Reality chooses a direction. Motion, observation, and existence become inseparable. This mysterious link between spin and consciousness has puzzled scientists for decades. Some theorists even suggest that our awareness itself might emerge from quantum processes in the brain, that the same invisible rotations shaping atoms might also flicker within the machinery of thought. Whether true or not, the idea carries a strange symmetry. The universe spinning on every scale from galaxies to neurons, each reflecting the other. If you could hear those atomic spins, they would sound like the faintest hum, a vibration beneath all things. That hum is constant. Even at absolute zero, the coldest possible temperature particles still move. They tremble with what physicists call zero-point energy, a reminder that perfect stillness does not exist. Even in the deepest quiet of space matter, quivers with the memory of creation's first movement. Consider the magnet on your refrigerator. It clings there holding your notes and photos, not because of any mechanical hook, but because of countless electrons whose spins align in the same direction. Their invisible dance creates a magnetic field strong enough to defy gravity. That simple act, a magnet gripping metal, is the macroscopic signature of quantum motion. You witness it every day without realizing you are watching the universe at work. Spin also governs light itself. Photons, the particles of illumination, carry a spin of one, a built-in rotation that gives rise to their polarization. When sunlight glints off water, or when you tilt your head and see a rainbow in a lens flare, you are seeing the orientation of those spinning photons. Even the glow of a candle, the shimmer of stars, the flicker of your computer screen, all are expressions of light's eternal twist. Without spin, the universe would fall apart. Particles could not bind into atoms. Atoms could not link into molecules. The laws that define solidity, magnetism, even temperature would vanish. Spin gives structure to chaos, rhythm to emptiness. It is the smallest form of order, the heartbeat of the invisible. And just as the stars rotate in the heavens, the electrons within them turn as well. Every atom forged in the heart of a star, every fragment of your body spins with the same motion that once churned in the cosmic fires of creation. You are in the most literal sense made of motion, layered upon motion galaxies, turning stars, turning atoms, turning. You are the echo of rotation stacked upon rotation from infinity down to the infinitesimal. In laboratories across the world, Scientists manipulate these spins to create quantum computers, to machines that calculate not with bits of 0 and 1, but with spins that can hold many states at once. The future of human thought may depend on our ability to choreograph these invisible dances, to learn from the rhythm that the universe has been performing since time began. But beyond all technology, there's poetry in this discovery. The same spin that shapes galaxies hums quietly inside every cell of your body. The same laws that guide electrons in their atomic orbits guide the moon around the Earth around the Sunday. It's all one continuum of motion, flowing from the infinite to the microscopic, one eternal dance performed in silence. So tonight, as you breathe and feel your pulse slow, imagine it aligning with that deeper rhythm. The atoms in your heart are turning. The electrons in your blood are spinning. The air you exhale carries particles that rotate like tiny worlds. You are a constellation of unseen motion, a universe condensed into flesh and thought. And somewhere, far above, galaxies spiral in patterns that mirror your very structure. The scale may change, but the truth does not. From the smallest atom to the widest cosmos, everything spins. There is no stillness, only the music of motion, played endlessly beautifully forever. When physicists peer into the tiniest corners of reality, what they find is not simplicity but reflection. Inside the smallest things, inside atoms, inside quarks, inside the very fields that make up matter, they see echoes of the vast. It is as if the universe has folded itself into miniature versions, like waves repeating at different scales, each carrying the memory of the whole. The ancient mystics once said that as above, so below. Quantum physics, in its quiet way, agrees. Every particle, no matter how small, contains a kind of symmetry, a map of forces and balance that mirrors the structure of galaxies. The same mathematics that describe the orbits of stars can describe the behavior of electrons spinning around a nucleus. Gravity and electromagnetism, time and space, they all follow the same hidden geometry. When you look deep enough into a particle, you begin to see patterns that look astonishingly like the spiral arms of galaxies. The same curves, the same ratios, the same sense of endless motion. It's as though the cosmos never truly divided itself into large and small. It only changed the scale of its dance. Each atom is a universe in miniature, with energy fields swirling like invisible planets around a radiant core. And perhaps somewhere beyond our reach, each galaxy is itself a particle in a larger existence, a speck turning within an even vaster creation. The rhythm repeats forever, from the smallest vibration to the widest horizon. Scientists call this idea self-similarity. It means that nature echoes its own designs. You see it in the branching of trees, in the veins of leaves, in the patterns of lightning, in the spiral of a seashell, in the eddies of water as it drains from a sink. The same pattern, the same logic of motion, reappears again and again, from microscopic to cosmic. The universe doesn't invent new rules. It refines the old ones, sculpting complexity from repetition. Inside a particle, there is no hard surface, no boundary where it ends. Instead, it's a field, a vibration in space itself. When a particle spins, what's really rotating is that field, like a knot of energy looping in on itself. The field twists, creating mass and charge the way a whirlpool creates form in flowing water. The whirlpool is not a thing separate from the river. It is the river caught in motion. Likewise, particles are not objects floating in space. They are space spinning. In that way, each of us contains a reflection of the entire universe. The atoms that form your body are not inert matter. They are quantum ripples that have never stopped moving since the dawn of creation. The same energy that fuels a star hums quietly inside you. Your thoughts, your heartbeat, your very breath are orchestrated by particles born in the first seconds of the Big Bang. The dust of galaxies condensed into you, a conscious collection of atoms, remembering what it means to move. If you could see this with perfect clarity, you'd realize that there is no real separation between you and the stars. What you call you is a temporary arrangement of spinning fields, and when you look up at the night sky, what you see is not distant, it's continuous. You are looking into yourself at a different scale. The atoms in your eyes and the atoms in those stars obey the same rules, speak the same language, and turn to the same rhythm. Even time behaves this way. It ripples, stretching and folding. Inside a single second, an infinity of vibrations occur. The smallest moments hold entire worlds of movement. Physicists measure these fluctuations in femtoseconds, attoseconds, numbers so tiny they seem meaningless. But within those flashes, light oscillates, electrons leap and fields adjust. Each tick of a clock contains countless universes of motion layered upon each other like waves within waves. It's easy to imagine that we exist on the outside of something huge looking in. But in truth, we exist within it, and it within us. The boundary between microcosm and macrocosm is an illusion created by scale. The same laws that guide galaxies through space guide the electrons that shape your breath. The universe has only one language motion, and it speaks it everywhere, in every size, in every form. Some philosophers and physicists have wondered if this repetition means the universe is conscious, not in the way humans are, but as a total awareness, a great pattern, folding in on itself, learning and remembering through its own motion. If everything reflects everything else, then perhaps awareness too is fractal. You are aware of the world because the universe in its vastness is aware of itself through you. You are not apart from its dance. You are one of its steps. Think of that the next time you hold something small, a pebble, a drop of water, a grain of sand. Inside that humble shape are trillions of atoms each, a symphony of spinning energy. Inside those atoms are quarks and fields, dancing to equations that echo across galaxies. The pebble contains a map of the stars. The drop of water carries the geometry of galaxies. The grain of sand hums with the same frequencies that ripple through the fabric of space. Nothing is simple. Nothing is separate. Even the spaces between particles, what we call emptiness, are full of motion. Quantum fluctuations flicker into being and vanish again like tiny breaths in the lungs of existence. The vacuum is not void, but alive, buzzing with potential. Every fluctuation, no matter how brief, contributes to the structure of everything else. The whole universe is a web of echoes, every vibration, touching every other across time and distance. In this endless recursion, creation becomes memory. Every particle remembers the whole. Every turn, every spin, carries within it the shape of everything that has ever existed. The world we see, the stars, the oceans, the forests, the faces of those we love, is only the visible layer of an infinite depth, a pattern folding into itself again and again. So tonight, if you close your eyes and listen deeply, imagine that hum beneath everything, the faint murmur of spinning fields and endless symmetry. You are not small within the universe. The universe is vast within you. The same rhythm that moves galaxies turns in your blood, in your breath, in your thoughts. You are the cosmos, condensed to consciousness, a spark of infinity remembering its own light. And perhaps that is why silence feels so comforting. It is not the absence of sound, but the place where all motion meets the moment, when the vast and the tiny overlap, when the galaxy and the particle share a single endless turn. If there is one force that holds the universe together like a patient conductor, it is gravity, silent, invisible, relentless. It is the slowest of the cosmic dancers, yet the one whose rhythm defines them all. Everything that spins, drifts, or orbits is following gravity's choreography, moving according to steps written long before the stars were born. It is not a force of violence, but of grace, an invisible hand that keeps chaos from dissolving into nothing. When Einstein reimagined gravity in the early 20th century, he transformed it from an unseen pull into a story of geometry. Space and time, he said, are not separate, but woven together like threads in a cosmic fabric. Every object, from a grain of sand to a galaxy, bends that fabric slightly. The more massive the object, the deeper the curve it creates. What we call gravity is not a tug from afar, but the tendency of things to follow those curves. Planets orbit because they are falling endlessly through warped space, like marbles circling inside an invisible bowl. The elegance of this idea is breathtaking. It means that the universe doesn't need strings or wires or mystical forces to keep it balanced. Its movement arises naturally from shape, from the way mass tells space how to bend, and space tells mass how to move. The sun does not pull the Earth around. It simply curves space-time, and the Earth glides through that curve, tracing a graceful ellipse that repeats forever. It's a cosmic waltz, choreographed not by command, but by form. Imagine space as a smooth, dark lake. Drop a star into it, and the surface ripples inward, creating a whirlpool of gravity. Now imagine billions of such whirlpools scattered across the cosmos, their ripples overlapping, merging, colliding. The result is the universe as we see it. Galaxies spinning within, galaxies clusters, orbiting clusters, filaments stretching like luminous rivers through the dark. Gravity writes this. Dance in silence, every step measured in light years, every beat lasting eons. Even light itself cannot resist the rhythm. When it passes near a massive object, it bends following the curvature of space. Astronomers call this gravitational lensing. Through it, we can see galaxies far behind others, their images distorted into arcs and halos. The light has traveled for billions of years, yet it dances obediently through the choreography of gravity, tracing curves drawn by stars that died before Earth existed. It's as if the universe itself is performing a ballet we can only glimpse from the balcony. Black holes, those spinning hearts of darkness, are the grandmasters of this dance. Their gravity is so intense that they twist space into funnels of almost infinite depth, yet even they are not chaotic. Their motion is precise, elegant, and eternal. They anchor galaxies the way a heart anchors blood flow, holding structure in place with unseen rhythm. Around them, stars orbit in perfect synchrony, tracing invisible circles through the void. To watch such a system is to witness the universe keeping time with itself. But gravity does more than shape the heavens, it shapes you. Every moment of your life, it holds you gently against the planet's surface. It pulls the oceans toward the moon, raises the tides that whisper through the shores. It draws air into your lungs and keeps your feet grounded as the earth spins beneath you. You are participating in gravity's choreography, even as you sleep, moving through a dance that never pauses. Without gravity, there would be no balance, no orbits, no rhythm at all. The universe would scatter into formless chaos. Yet because of it, motion becomes harmony. The same curvature that binds stars also guides the flight of a falling leaf, the drift of a feather through still air. Einstein once said that if you truly understood gravity, you would understand the universe itself, not as a collection of objects, but as a single seamless performance. In recent decades, scientists have discovered that gravity's choreography is not static. It can ripple like music. When massive objects, black holes or neutron stars collide, they send vibrations through space-time called gravitational waves. These waves stretch and squeeze everything they touch, crossing the cosmos like faint tremors of a drum too vast to imagine. In 2015, we finally detected them for the first time, hearing the universe's rhythm in the most literal sense, the sound of gravity itself. Those signals were tiny distortions smaller than the width of a proton, but they told a story that spanned billions of years. Two black holes had spiraled together, their spins merging in the final cataclysmic moment, releasing energy greater than all the stars in the sky combined. The echoes of that event washed through Earth, through your body, through the air, unnoticed. You were touched by gravity's oldest song and never knew it. And that's what makes it so profound. We are not separate from this force. Every atom in you feels the pull of every other atom in the universe. The Earth tugs on you, but so do the distant stars. You are connected, however faintly, to everything that exists, bound by an invisible network of attraction that stretches across all of space. Gravity doesn't just choreograph motion, it composes unity. There's a kind of peace in that thought. No matter where you are standing under rain, lying under stars, drifting in sleep, gravity is with you. It holds you in the same embrace that keeps galaxies spinning. It is the universe's most tender gesture, the way everything tells everything else stay close. And perhaps that's why we feel comfort in falling asleep. To fall is to surrender to gravity, to yield to that soft, universal pull that keeps us grounded while the world turns. Each night as you drift into dreams, you are letting yourself be carried by the same force that moves the stars. You are part of gravity's choreography, resting in its arms, swaying with the rhythm of creation. So when you close your eyes, remember that nothing truly stands still. The Earth spins the moon, orbits the sun, drifts around the galaxy, and even the space between atoms curves in response. You are moving through the grandest dance ever written, one that began before time and will outlast it. And in the silence of that motion, gravity hums the simplest, most beautiful refrain: everything belongs. At first, the phrase sounds like a contradiction. How can nothing spin? How can emptiness move? But the deeper scientists look into the fabric of reality, the more they discover that the universe has never known stillness. Even in the most perfect vacuum, in the coldest, darkest corner of intergalactic space, something is happening. Tiny particles flicker in and out of existence. Fields ripple faintly. Energy hums. Nothingness, it seems, is not nothing at all. It is motion wearing the mask of silence. Quantum physics teaches that what we call empty space is a restless sea, a field of endless potential. At every point in that vacuum, invisible fluctuations appear and vanish in billionths of a second. They are known as virtual particles, ghostly twins of matter and energy that cancel each other out almost instantly. You could think of them as the universe's breathing, exhale, inhale, creation, disappearance. Each breath leaves a trace, a rhythm, a spin. If you could shrink yourself down small enough to watch this, you would see something astonishing. The vacuum would not be black or still, but alive with motion. Swirls of probability, loops of light, and antimatter, tiny sparks of rotation flashing and fading faster than time can measure. The quantum vacuum boils continuously, a microscopic storm that never rests. Every particle, every atom, every beam of light rises from this invisible ocean. It is the cradle of existence, and it never stops moving. Even the emptiness between galaxies, the vast darkness that seems so peaceful, is part of this dance. Space itself has energy, called vacuum energy, and that energy curves the universe, stretches, it propels its expansion. What we perceive as cosmic calm is actually the quiet hum of billions upon billions of invisible spins. Every cubic centimeter of empty space contains more raw energy than all the stars combined. The universe hides its motion well, but it is never motionless. This background activity has another name: quantum foam. It is the foundation upon which everything stands, though it behaves more like water than stone. The smaller the scale, the more turbulent it becomes. Space-time itself ripples there like waves on an unseen sea. Gravity and quantum fields intertwine, shaping the tiniest eddies that someday might explain the birth of reality itself. Perhaps in that foam, the first spark of the Big Bang was born not from stillness, but from motion collapsing into form. To understand this is to realize that the universe's rest is only apparent. Even when it sleeps, it dreams. Even when it seems quiet, it vibrates with possibility. The glow of starlight, the pull of gravity, the charge of electrons, all of it emerges from the same restless vacuum. Stillness is only a perception, a trick of scale. What seems frozen to our eyes is alive at smaller levels, vibrating like strings of a cosmic instrument we cannot hear. Theoretical physicists describe the vacuum using equations that seem to pulse. The fields that compose reality, electromagnetic, gravitational, nuclear, are not static, but oscillating. When two such oscillations interact, they create particles, just as overlapping waves create ripples on water. Everything you see from your hand to the stars is the result of those waves momentarily aligning their spins, locking into harmony. Matter is simply energy that learned a rhythm. Even temperature, that measure of motion, can never truly reach zero, absolute zero. The coldest conceivable state is a limit the universe approaches, but never touches. Even there, at 0 Kelvin, motion persists. Particles still quiver with 0-point energy, a whisper left over from creation. If you could freeze every atom in your body to that impossible cold, they would not stop. They would shimmer faintly with the same rhythm that moves the galaxies. Nothing truly still exists. And so physicists sometimes describe the vacuum as a field of infinite spin. Each quantum fluctuation carries angular momentum, a micro-turning that balances itself out across the void. When one fluctuation spins clockwise, another spins counterclockwise, keeping the cosmos in perfect equilibrium. That is why the universe does not tear itself apart with all this motion. The dance is balanced, the steps always paired. Even nothing has symmetry. It is humbling to realize that you live surrounded by this invisible energy. Every breath you take passes through a vacuum that is anything but empty. The space between your atoms is filled with quantum storms that flicker for the briefest of instants, unseen yet essential. You are both made of and surrounded by motion, too small to perceive a storm of turning, cancelling, becoming. Perhaps that's why silence feels so alive when you pay attention to it. The stillness of a quiet room, the darkness between stars, the pause between heartbeats. These are not voids, but thresholds. Behind them, creation continues, weaving its endless rotation through every moment. What you call peace is the harmony of countless movements, balancing one another. And when you sleep, your body obeys the same principle. Though your mind drifts into stillness, your cells are busy, your blood moves, your atoms vibrate. Even the neurons that dream do so through electrical fields and molecular spins. Life mirrors the vacuum, never static, only softly turning, endlessly becoming. If you could listen beyond sound itself, you would hear the hum of this motion, the low, omnipresent resonance of existence. It is faint, but everywhere, flowing through every space that appears empty. Astronomers detect it in the background radiation that fills the universe, a gentle glow left over from the Big Bang. That afterglow is proof that even the deepest silence is filled with memory. The universe cannot stop remembering its own movement. So when you sit in darkness and feel the quiet pressing against you, understand that you are not alone in stillness. You are surrounded by motion too subtle to see, by endless invisible spins that give birth to everything. Even nothing, it turns out, never stopped spinning. And that is why the cosmos endures, because the silence between stars is not the absence of sound, but the place where the next note is born. If you could step back far enough from the universe, far beyond the veil of stars and the boundaries of galaxies, what you would see would not be chaos. You would see harmony. 1 billion galaxies, each spinning with its own rhythm, each orbiting in vast clusters that form filaments across space, like the strings of an instrument stretched across infinity. The cosmos is not silent. It plays a symphony, one that began with the first tremor of creation and has never stopped resonating since. Gravity is the conductor. It pulls the notes into tune, balancing the movements of galaxies with invisible precision. From our small corner inside the Milky Way, we can only glimpse a fragment of the song. But when astronomers map the universe, the patterns appear, unmistakable threads and nodes, vast webs of light connecting everything that exists. Between those glowing filaments lie voids so enormous that light has been crossing them for billions of years. Yet even there, the music continues, carried by the faint hum of dark energy, expanding the stage itself. The Milky Way is only one instrument among many. It spins once every 230 million years, sweeping hundreds of billions of stars along with it. Its spiral arms move like waves of sound-dense regions, where stars ignite and fade, their lives rising and falling like chords. As each generation of stars dies, it scatters the raw material for new melodies, dust, gas, and the heavy elements that will one day form new worlds. The universe's music is self-repeating yet never the same. If we could translate motion into sound, galaxies would hum in tones too deep for human hearing. Each one would have its own frequency, its own texture. The larger the galaxy, the slower its tempo, the smaller, the quicker its beat. Clusters of galaxies would form harmonies, their gravity weaving together into chords that reverberate across cosmic distances. The entire universe would ring like a single note, not static, but shifting slowly through time, a cosmic resonance built on billions of turning hearts. Even dark matter, invisible and silent to our eyes, is part of this harmony. Though we cannot see it, we can feel its rhythm in the way galaxies move. It binds them, shapes them, keeps them from flying apart. Without it, the spirals would unravel, the cosmic song would dissolve into noise. Dark matter is the baseline, deep, steady, unseen, giving the music weight and structure. It doesn't shine, but it holds everything together, ensuring that every note stays in tune. Between galaxies, another rhythm plays the slow expansion of space itself. Scientists have discovered that the universe is not only growing but accelerating, as if the tempo of the symphony is gradually increasing. This expansion is driven by something called dark energy, an unknown force that fills the void and pushes everything apart. No one knows what it is, only that it acts like a soft but constant beat, stretching the rhythm of the cosmos further and further. The universe is not dying. It is composing endlessly in longer and longer measures of time. The light from distant galaxies carries the memory of this music. Each photon that reaches your eyes tonight has traveled through billions of years, stretched and cooled by the expansion of space. It hums with the history of its journey, whispering the same story in every direction, that all things move together, that even separation is part of one great harmony. When astronomers listen to the faint microwave background that fills the sky, they are hearing the oldest part of the song, the echo of the universe's first note. You can see this rhythm in everything, in the spiral of hurricanes on Earth mirroring the galaxies above, in the arrangement of leaves on a branch repeating the same geometry of cosmic arms, in the beating of your heart steady as the rotation of worlds. The same patterns recur again and again, from the smallest atom to the largest cluster of stars. Existence doesn't compose new music. It refines the same theme across infinite instruments. Even the spaces between stars carry their own melody. Interstellar clouds shimmer with radio waves. Pulsars emit regular beacons that tick like metronomes, and quasars blaze in bursts of light that ripple across time. Astronomers once thought the universe was silent, but every discovery reveals a new layer of sound, not the kind we can hear, but the kind that moves through the fabric of space itself. The symphony of the cosmos plays on frequencies far beyond the reach of human ears, yet its rhythm shapes everything we are. Our galaxy participates in this song not as a soloist, but as part of a cosmic orchestra. We orbit the galactic center, which itself drifts through a supercluster called Laniakea, a Hawaiian word, meaning immense heaven. This cluster contains hundreds of thousands of galaxies, all flowing toward a mysterious region called the Great Attractor, drawn by forces we do not fully understand. It is as if gravity has gathered all these galaxies into one vast, slow waltz, a movement of unimaginable scale. In a way, we are all part of that dance. Every second of your life, you are carried through the galaxy at hundreds of kilometers per second, yet you feel nothing, because everything around you moves in perfect sync. You, the air you breathe, the planet beneath your feet, all are notes in the same measure. The stars don't rush past because they are moving with you, their light and your body, both following gravity's invisible tempo. There's a quiet beauty in knowing that you are not just in the universe, but of it a fleeting phrase in the longest song ever written. You don't need to hear it to be part of it. Your heartbeat already keeps time with its rhythm. When you breathe, when you sleep, when you dream, you are vibrating with the same energy that drives the stars. And though the symphony will change as stars fade, galaxies drift apart and the cosmic tempo slows, its echoes will never stop. The music will simply shift, to lower keys, softer notes, longer silences. In the end, when all matter has grown cold, the universe's last song will still hum faintly in the background, a single sustained tone, endless and serene. Close your eyes and listen. Beneath the noise of your thoughts, beneath the whisper of air, that hum is there, the low eternal vibration of everything moving together. The galactic symphony continues, and you are one of its notes, brief but luminous, spinning in time with all that is. Every dance begins with a partner, a star with its planets, a galaxy with its neighbors, a moon with its planet's pull. But there comes a point in every cosmic story when gravity grows faint and motion must continue alone. The further you travel into deep space, the more distance widens between the dancers. Stars drift away from their clusters. Galaxies retreat from one another. The universe, it seems, is learning solitude, yet it never stops moving. It spins in quiet grace, keeping time even when no one is watching. In the beginning, the cosmos was close-knit. Galaxies collided, often sharing gas, exchanging stars, their arms tangling like partners in a fiery embrace. But over billions of years, the expansion of space began to pull them apart. That expansion, driven by dark energy, accelerates, endlessly stretching the fabric of reality itself. Every second, every breath, you take, the distance between faraway galaxies increases. The music of the universe slows, but the rhythm never falters. One day, countless ages from now, galaxies like the Milky Way will drift too far from one another for their light to ever meet. Each will spin in isolation, surrounded by darkness. The stars will still turn, the planets will still orbit, but the great symphony will have become a collection of quiet solos. The universe will dance alone. Yet even in that solitude, there will be beauty, because the rhythm of creation was never dependent on an audience. It continues for its own sake, graceful, simply because it cannot do otherwise. Our galaxy too will someday find itself alone. For now, it is not truly solitary. It is part of the local group, a small cluster of galaxies bound together by gravity. Among them, the Andromeda Galaxy drifts slowly closer, moving toward us at 4,000,000 kilometers per hour. In about 4 billion years, the two will merge their stars, mingling their black holes, spiraling together at the center. It will be a collision, yes, but also a union, a duet, written in light and gravity. From their fusion, a new galaxy will be born, rounder and brighter, spinning peacefully in the dark. When that happens, our sun will have already grown old. Its light will dim, its surface will cool. Earth, if it still exists, will be silent, but far beyond the merger will light up the sky of some distant world. To them, it will look like two galaxies performing a slow, incandescent embrace. That moment, lasting hundreds of millions of years, will be one of the last great choreographies of visible matter. After that, the distances will become too great for light to bridge. But solitude is not sorrow. Even in isolation, motion persists. A single galaxy drifting through cosmic dark still glows with billions of stars. Its core spins around a black hole. Its arms curve like ribbons in the wind. Within it, new suns are born, and around those suns, new worlds turn. Life perhaps might rise again. Tiny, fragile, curious, looking up at unfamiliar skies and wondering if there is anyone else dancing in the dark. Perhaps by then they will not see other galaxies. The night sky will be almost empty, its horizon swallowed by distance. But if they listen carefully, If their minds are tuned to the hum of gravity and light, they might still feel the rhythm. Because even if the universe dances alone, it never loses its sense of motion. Solitude becomes serenity. There's something profoundly moving about that idea. We humans often equate movement with connection, believing that to dance alone is to be lost. But the cosmos reminds us otherwise. Even alone, motion has meaning. The galaxy does not spin for anyone to see it. It spins because that is what it was born to do. The universe does not expand for an audience. It expands because expansion is its nature. The stars do not shine to be admired. They shine because their atoms cannot help but burn. Every rotation, every orbit, every pulse of light is the universe's way of continuing itself. There is no loneliness in that only purpose. And perhaps we can learn something from it. To keep turning even when the world grows dark. To keep glowing even when no one sees. To move because movement itself is life. When the great distances widen beyond sight, the background radiation that once filled the sky will fade. The faint glow of the Big Bang, that last echo of creation, will stretch until it becomes invisible. The cosmic web will thin its filaments, breaking each galaxy, an island drifting through infinite black. But even then, gravity will still whisper. Inside those galaxies, stars will still spin their light, swirling into the hearts of black holes that turn quietly in the center, remembering the rhythm that began it all. And when the last stars die, their ashes will still drift in spirals. Matter will fall into darkness, forming smaller and smaller remnants, white dwarfs, neutron stars, black holes, each carrying a spark of the old spin. Even when there is nothing left to shine, the turning will continue. A lone black hole rotating in the dark is still dancing. Its spin, measured in fractions of the speed of light, will keep the memory of the cosmos alive. At the end of time, trillions upon trillions of years from now, the universe will not have stopped. It will have become slow, cold, silent, but motion will remain. Perhaps that is what immortality looks like. Not endless life, but endless movement. Even when the music fades, the dance endures. And so, as you lie awake under the stars tonight, remember that even if the cosmos dances alone, it is never without grace. You too are part of that solitude, one small consciousness turning within an ancient pattern. You are the proof that the universe can be alone and still create beauty. The galaxies spin the atoms in your body, and somewhere far beyond all distance, the universe itself continues to twirl, not because it must, but because that is what love looks like when it has no one left to hold. Every rotation must one day slow, every heartbeat must one day fade, and every light must eventually dim. Yet, even as the universe moves toward that distant stillness, its motion does not end. It only transforms. The story of creation is not a straight line, but a spiral turning through time. Each revolution leaves an imprint, a trace of motion that can never truly disappear. To understand the fate of the cosmos, we must follow that spiral to its quiet conclusion, to the destiny of every spin. Look around you. Every planet, every atom, every whirling star carries energy in its motion, angular momentum, that invisible inheritance from the beginning keeps them turning. But in the long arc of eternity, friction, radiation, and gravity will conspire to drain that energy away. The dance will slow gently, gracefully. The universe will grow quieter, as if preparing for rest. Yet even in that silence, motion will not die. it will fade into subtler forms. Stars are the first to change. As they age, their rotations slow, their magnetic fields weaken, their light softens, and their surfaces cool. Some swell into giants, others collapse into dense spinning remnants. A white dwarf may rotate once every few minutes, a neutron star hundreds of times each second. Their speed defies comprehension, yet over eons even that rotation bleeds away. They emit gravitational waves, radiating their spin into the void, tiny ripples in space-time that carry the memory of motion outward forever. Galaxies too evolve. Their arms wind tighter, their stars drift apart. Gravity continues to shape them, but the expansion of space stretches the distances between them, reducing their momentum. Collisions become rare. The great cosmic symphony quiets. Where once billions of galaxies danced together, now only faint notes remain, each island of light turning alone in the dark. The universe, once a wild chorus, becomes a single sustained tone, echoing softly through infinite emptiness. Even black holes, those masters of spin, are not immune. Over unimaginable spans of time, they will release their energy through what Stephen Hawking called Hawking radiation. Bit by bit, they evaporate, their rotation slowing as they dissolve into nothingness. The last thing to vanish from a dying black hole is its spin, that ancient signature of motion that began with the birth of the stars. And when it goes, it carries with it the final whisper of time. What happens then, when all the spinning hearts of the universe have quieted, when every particle has lost its heat and space itself has grown cold and thin? Physicists call it the heat death, a moment not of destruction, but of perfect balance. No gradients, no friction, no energy left to move. Yet even this stillness is not truly motionless. Quantum fluctuations will continue to flicker. Virtual particles will still appear and vanish, borrowing energy from nothing and returning it in an instant. The universe, though silent, will continue to breathe. It is tempting to think of this as an ending, but endings are human inventions. To the universe, there are only transformations. The spin that once drove galaxies might someday give birth to something new. Perhaps another Big Bang, another unfolding. Some theories imagine that when the universe stretches beyond comprehension, quantum fluctuations will seed a new expansion, a rebirth from the ashes of entropy. The old motion will not be lost. It will reincarnate as rhythm once again. In a way, we are all echoes of that same pattern, small versions of the same story. You too will slow fade and transform. But your motion, your breath, your heartbeat, the spinning atoms that make you will continue. When you are gone, the matter that was once you will scatter into air and soil and stars, each atom carrying the same angular momentum it has always had. Nothing is truly lost. It only changes partners in the cosmic dance. Think of your breath right now. In, out, in, out. You are turning energy into motion and back again, tracing the same pattern that galaxies follow around their centers. When you move your hand through the air, the particles you displace will continue to drift their momentum, spreading outward until it becomes part of the global wind, the planetary rotation, the orbit around the Sunday. Every small motion ripples outward, adding to the larger rhythm. You are a link in an unbroken chain of movement that began 13.8 billion years ago. The beauty of this realization is not in its grandeur, but in its intimacy. You are made of motion that never ends. The spin of ancient stars lives in your bones. The rotation of galaxies is reflected in the spiral of your DNA. The atoms in your heart once belonged to suns that turned and died long before Earth was born. You are not simply within the universe. You are its continuation, its rhythm translated into form, and when your story ends, you will give that rhythm back. The warmth of your body will radiate outward as infrared light, joining the ocean of energy that fills the cosmos. The carbon and oxygen that sustain your breath will rejoin the atmosphere, perhaps to nourish new life. Even the rotation of your planet beneath your feet will carry your memory forward, not as thought, but as motion. In that sense, there is no fate to fear. The slowing of spin, the fading of stars, the quieting of time, these are not tragedies. They are part of the same balance that has always guided the cosmos. Every ending is an act of completion. Every stillness, another kind of turning. The universe does not mourn its transformations. It embraces them, flowing endlessly between energy and rest. So when you look up at the night sky, try to imagine the future not as darkness, but as deep calm. Every star you see is part of a wave that will one day fade into stillness, yet the wave itself will never truly stop. It will pass into something beyond our understanding, something that moves without moving, turns without spinning, exists without time. Perhaps that is the ultimate fate of every spin, to become so complete, so balanced, that motion and stillness are the same thing. The universe may one day rest, but its rest will be the quiet continuation of all it has ever been. Nothing truly ends. It only becomes whole. So breathe. Feel the rotation beneath you, the planet turning through space. Feel the pulse of your own heart, keeping time with that motion. Somewhere far in the future, the last stars will shine, the last black hole will spin, and the final wave will fade into silence. But even then, the rhythm that began with the first spark of creation will remain not lost, not gone, but transformed into eternity. The universe, vast and ancient, has always moved between two impulses, creation and dispersal, order and release. In the beginning, energy rushed outward, forming stars and galaxies. Over eons, that same energy began to slow spread and soften, dissolving into equilibrium. This slow unraveling is called entropy, the natural drift toward balance. But balance does not mean death, even entropy. The great leveling of all things has its own rhythm, its own quiet motion. It doesn't erase the dance. It teaches the universe how to sway more gently. Entropy is often misunderstood as decay, as loss, as the end of meaning. Yet it is not destruction. It is transformation. It is the reason stars cool, the reason mountains erode, the reason your breath warms the air around you. It's the way energy learns to rest, to distribute itself evenly through space. Everything that has ever existed, every thought, every flame, every motion, eventually becomes part of this great evening out. It is the universe's way of exhaling. Imagine the cosmos as a grand orchestra that began with a single thunderous note, the Big Bang. Over billions of years, that note has stretched and deepened its volume, fading, its tempo slowing, yet its resonance still filling every corner of existence. Entropy is the fading of that sound, not its silence, but its sustain. The melody continues softer now, more patient, more profound. Even as entropy increases, patterns emerge. Galaxies spin because they must. Stars ignite and die, giving birth to new ones. Life appears, flourishes, and transforms. Entropy doesn't oppose structure. It guides it, ensures that no energy remains trapped forever. Every act of motion, from the flicker of an electron to the turning of a world, adds to the great redistribution. The heat you feel on your skin from sunlight is entropy in action. The sun sharing its energy with the void. If entropy were complete stillness, the night sky would already be black and empty. But it isn't. The stars still burn. The galaxies still turn. The universe is still finding new ways to move. Entropy is the process through which energy learns grace, where wild chaos becomes slow beauty. The spinning of galaxies, the shimmer of nebulae, even the trembling of atoms are all steps in this long, slow dance toward balance. In our daily lives, we see this principle everywhere. The warmth that fades from a cup of tea, the ember that cools after fire, the way memories soften with time. These are small reflections of cosmic entropy, yet none of them feel tragic. They feel natural, even peaceful. The cooling of tea makes way for quiet reflection. The fading of a flame gives space for darkness, for sleep. Entropy, in its deepest truth, is the universe remembering how to rest. But rest for the cosmos does not mean motionless. Even in its slowest, quietest moments, the universe continues to sway. Particles vibrate with zero-point energy. Black holes evaporate their mass, turning to faint radiation. Space itself stretches not in haste, but in steady expansion. Everything relaxes into symmetry, and in doing so, everything continues to move. The grand waltz doesn't stop. It simply changes its tempo. Entropy also governs us. Your body is a local rebellion against it, a pocket of order sustained by energy. Every cell fights against dispersal, maintaining structure through the constant input of light food motion. But that resistance is temporary. In time, your energy too will spread outward, returning to the universal balance. That is not defeat, it is participation. You are part of the exchange energy borrowed from the stars, now passing gently back to them. Even the act of breathing illustrates this truth. When you inhale, you gather structure, oxygen, rhythm, order. When you exhale, you release it, warmth, motion, energy. Every breath is a tiny rise and fall of entropy, a microcosm of cosmic balance. You are not separate from this law. You are its living expression. Scientists say that in the far future, when the last black holes have evaporated and the last light has faded, the universe will reach maximum entropy, a perfect equilibrium where energy is spread evenly across infinite space. But what does that really mean? Perhaps it means peace. Perhaps it means that the universe, after eons of creation and transformation, will have learned how to be perfectly balanced. No hunger, no tension, no conflict, just quiet sway. And maybe that state will not be the end. Some physicists believe that even in that stillness, quantum fluctuations will continue to ripple, creating tiny bursts of motion, tiny new beginnings. Entropy may be the prelude to another act, a soft pause before the next cosmic inhale. What we call the end could simply be a breath between universes, the silence between two songs. There is comfort in that thought. The same law that ensures stars will fade also ensures that nothing ever truly stops. The energy that once formed the sun, the galaxies, your very body, will never vanish. It will diffuse, combine, and return, reshaped, repurposed, reborn. The cosmos may cool, but it will not die. It will sway in eternity, its rhythm slowed but not silenced. So when you feel time slipping through your hands, when you sense the gradual quieting of things, remember entropy's lesson. The universe is not falling apart, it is relaxing into balance. Everything you see, everything you are, is part of that gentle unwinding. The end of motion is only the beginning of stillness that moves differently. Close your eyes for a moment. Listen to your breath, to the pulse in your chest. Those sounds are not permanent. They are temporary shapes of energy, small harmonies in the larger song of dispersal. One day, they too will fade, but their rhythm will remain passed into air, into heat, into light. You will not stop moving. You will only join the wider motion. Entropy, then, is not the death of the dance. It is the moment when the dancer learns to let go of control and simply sway with the music. It is the universe growing wise enough to rest, knowing that the rhythm it began will never end. Everything that exists today, every breath you draw, every heartbeat, every word whispered between two souls was once dust. Not the dry dust of forgotten roads, but cosmic dust, the ash of dying stars, the debris of ancient supernovae, the floating residue of the universe's earliest fires. Long before your ancestors, long before Earth took shape, you were already in motion, drifting silently between the stars. You are quite literally a cloud of spinning dust gathered into consciousness. When a star dies, it releases its elements, carbon, oxygen, iron, calcium, into space. These atoms scatter through the galaxy, traveling for millions of years until gravity gathers them again into new formations, new stars, new planets, new life. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your lungs, all of them were born inside a star that once burned and turned, spun and shone before releasing itself to the cosmos. You are a second generation of motion, the echo of a stellar rhythm that never ceased. From the perspective of eternity, there is no difference between you and the Milky Way. You both spin, you both transform, you both remember. The particles that compose your body are ancient travelers, each carrying momentum that has never stopped. Even now, while you sit still, you are turning not just with the earth beneath your feet, but with the atoms inside you, with the galaxy that carries you through the void. The stillness you feel is only relative. On a cosmic scale, you are a whirlwind. If you could see yourself through the eyes of the universe, you'd be a constellation of motion molecules, vibrating electrons, swirling cells, dividing blood-flowing neurons, flashing with electrical light. Within you, storms rage at microscopic levels. The air you exhale joins the wind. The warmth of your skin radiates outward as infrared waves. Even your thoughts are tiny electrical currents, energy moving in patterns too delicate to see. You are movement, layered upon movement, a cosmos folded inward. Every culture, in its own way, has felt this truth. Ancient peoples looked at the stars and saw themselves reflected there. They imagined souls returning to the heavens, their spirits joining the constellations. In a sense, they were right. The atoms that once formed their bodies were reabsorbed into the earth, the ocean, the air, and in time, those atoms rose again, perhaps as plants, as rain, as new beings. Motion is not just physical, it is spiritual. What moves remembers. What dies continues. The wind that brushes your face may carry molecules once breathed by dinosaurs or by the first humans who looked up at the night sky. The water you drink today might include atoms that once flowed through a comet or a distant nebula or a star that burned long before the sun existed. Nothing ever truly disappears. It only travels, changes, form, joins new dances. You too are part of that cycle. You are not outside the universe observing it. You are the universe observing itself. Every atom that makes up your body has traveled billions of miles. Some came from exploding stars. Some were forged in the Big Bang. Each one carries spin-angular momentum from the dawn of time. That spin hasn't stopped. It's still there deep inside your molecules, the same turning that shapes galaxies. You are made of motion so ancient that even when you die, that motion will continue. The dust will scatter again, the rhythm will persist. Think about the air in your lungs right now. Those atoms have passed through trees, oceans, storms, and animals. They have seen the world in ways you never could. They've drifted over deserts frozen in clouds, fallen as rain dissolved in sunlight, and now they are inside you for a moment, part of your story. And when you exhale, they will continue their journey, carrying a small trace of your warmth into the great current of life. It's easy to forget that you are part of such vastness. The weight of everyday concerns can make the universe feel distant. But the truth is intimate. You are breathing starlight. You are the continuation of galaxies. Every time you close your eyes, the energy that animates you is the same energy that ignited the Sunday. Every heartbeat is a microcosm of the universe's pulse. You are the dust that learned how to spin itself into awareness. Scientists call this the cycle of cosmic recycling. Stars die, scatter their elements, and seed the next generation of suns. The Milky Way is a continuous forge of rebirth, a galactic heartbeat that turns dust into fire and fire into dust again. Planets form from that debris. On at least one of them, those atoms began to organize themselves, to think, to feel, to ask where they came from. Life, then, is the universe's way of watching its own movement. You are not separate from the stars. You are their eyes, their memory, their echo. Sometimes, when you stand under the night sky, it feels as though the universe is silent, but it isn't. It is speaking through you. The warmth of your body, the rhythm of your heart, the spark of your thoughts. These are not accidents of biology. They are the continuation of a cosmic pattern that began billions of years ago and continues through you now. The dust has not stopped dancing. It has simply taken on new form. And one day, that form will return to the rhythm that made it. The atoms that are you will drift apart again, perhaps into soil, into air, into distant stars yet unborn. Your consciousness too may dissolve into the quiet from which it came, but nothing will be lost. The motion that created you will continue. You will become part of the great circulation of light and matter of galaxies and dreams. So when you look at your hands, know that you are holding the universe in miniature. When you breathe, remember that you are sharing air with everything that ever was. When you love, you are continuing the same motion that draws stars together, the same attraction that keeps galaxies bound. You are not small, and you are not separate. You are the universe, remembering itself in the brief, luminous form of a human being. We too are spinning dust, each of us, a flicker of the cosmos, in motion, each of us carrying the infinite within. And when our time ends, the dance will go on. For nothing that moves ever truly dies. There comes a moment, if you listen long enough to the hum of the universe, when motion and silence seem to merge. The galaxies keep spinning, the atoms keep turning, and yet somewhere deep within all that endless rotation, there is a center that never moves. The eye of the cosmic storm, the stillness inside the dance. Every whirlpool has a calm heart, every spiral a motionless core. You can see it in the hurricane's eye, in the spin of galaxies in the orbit of planets. The faster the motion around it, the quieter the center becomes. The universe, for all its motion, is balanced upon such centers. Gravity holds everything together, pulling energy inward, even as expansion pushes outward. Between those two forces lies equilibrium, the point where movement becomes serenity. You too have such a center. Beneath the rush of thought, beneath the pulse of blood, beneath the constant rotation of the world, there is a space inside you that is utterly still. It is not empty, it is full of awareness. It is the same quiet that exists in the core of a galaxy, in the heart of a star, in the pause between your breaths. You carry within you the same calm that holds the universe together. If you close your eyes and listen, you might sense it, the soundless place where your thoughts slow and the body's rhythm aligns with something larger. The earth turns beneath you, but you do not feel it. The stars rush through the sky, but to you they seem eternal. In that illusion of stillness lies truth, not that motion has stopped, but that you have found your place within it. When you are in harmony with the dance, the movement feels like peace. Physicists have a word for this balance. They call it equilibrium, the state in which all forces cancel perfectly, where energy flows smoothly without turbulence. Spiritually, it might be called acceptance or presence. It's the moment when you no longer resist the motion of life, when you move with it instead of against it. Every being, from a single atom to a galaxy cluster, seeks that point of quiet balance, the stillness that lets motion endure without breaking. Even the universe itself seems to seek it. For billions of years, expansion and gravity have tugged at each other, shaping everything we see. One day, their struggle will reach a perfect calm. The stars will fade, the orbits will slow, and the vast web of galaxies will settle into peace. Yet even then, the geometry of space will continue to hum, faintly, eternally. That hum is the stillness. It is not silence, but completeness. We humans have always been drawn to this paradox. The monks who meditate in the desert, the physicists who stare at equations, the artists who paint circles and spirals, all are chasing the same feeling, the center of the motion. Somewhere deep beneath the swirl of time, there is something that does not age or change. It watches, it waits, it simply is. Some call it consciousness, others call it God, others still call it the quantum field or the void. But whatever name you give it, it is the same thing, the unmoving ground of all movement. It is the reason galaxies spin, and why you can feel awe when you look at them. The stillness inside the dance is awareness itself, the witness of creation, the calm within the storm. There is an ancient image for this truth, the dancer and the dance. The dancer moves endlessly, gracefully tracing patterns in air. But if you look closely, you see that the dancer never leaves the center of the circle. No matter how wide the steps, no matter how fast the turn, the heart of the dancer remains still. So it is with the universe. Everything turns, but the center does not. Everything changes, but the essence remains. You can find that same center in your own life. Amid the noise of the world, amid the rush of days and years, there is a place within you that watches quietly, unchanged. You felt it as a child gazing up at the stars. You feel it now reading these words. You will feel it again when you take your last breath. It is the calm awareness that threads through every motion you've ever made. When you walk, it walks with you. When you sleep, it holds you. when you think it listens. It is the silence behind every sound, the stillness behind every spin. The universe began with motion, but that motion was born from this stillness. In the beginning, there was not explosion, but unfolding, like a flower blooming in slow time, petals of energy opening into existence. And when all things return to quiet, that same stillness will remain. It will not mourn the end of stars or the fading of galaxies, because it has always been there before and beyond motion. The dance began within it and will end within it, and yet it will never be altered. It is not the absence of life, but the peace beneath life, the eternal floor upon which the universe turns. Even now, as you sit in the turning world, you are part of that center. The atoms in your body spin the earth, rotates the galaxy drifts, and yet within you there is awareness watching it all unfold. That awareness is the universe remembering itself. It is not moving through time. Time is moving through it. So breathe deeply and feel the rotation of the earth beneath you. Feel the quiet hum of your blood. Feel the invisible pull of the stars. Every movement, every vibration, every orbit is happening within a greater stillness. A stillness that is also you. You are not outside the cosmic dance. You are its calm heart. And when the galaxies have faded, when the universe itself has slowed to silence, that stillness will remain not as emptiness, but as presence. It will hold everything that ever spun, everything that ever lived, everything that ever loved. It will be the memory of motion and the promise of its return. The universe began in movement, and it will end in stillness. But in truth, the two are one. Stillness is not the opposite of the dance. It is its center, its purpose, its home. You have always been there, turning quietly in the dark, luminous and aware. The universe is still dancing, and you are the stillness that makes the dance possible.